What if the sun went out right now? You wake up to darkness, no sunrise, no warmth. The sun is gone. Think about the exact moment. Wherever you are, whatever you are doing, maybe you are watching a video on your phone or reading a book by a sunny window. You can probably hear the sound of the day, traffic outside, people talking, maybe music playing softly. Feels like normal. Now picture this. It's the exact same moment, the same you, the same world, but then without any warning, without even a flicker, the sunlight is just gone. Not like when a cloud passes by, not like the slow fade of evening, just a deep, sudden, heavy blackness. Like someone has thrown a thick black blanket over the entire world. The sun, the thing that makes our world alive, it has just gone out, disappeared completely. And in that moment, every single person on the earth is into the darkness. That feels like the end of everything. What would be the first thing that you would feel? Confusion, maybe. You might think it's a massive power cut everywhere at once. But deep down, a cold, heavy dread would start to settle in your stomach. Let's try to feel what happens next, step by step, almost moments by moments, in those first few minutes and hours. Here's a truly strange and unsettling thought. When the sun actually disappears, we wouldn't know it right away. Not for a little while. Think about it like this. Light is incredibly fast. It travels faster than anything we know. But even speed like that takes time to cross a huge distance from sun to our earth. It normally takes about 8 minutes and 20 seconds. Imagine waiting for a microwave to finish. That's close to how long the last rays of sunlight would still be traveling towards us after the sun was gone. So for the first 8 minutes and 20 seconds, after the sun has gone, everything would still look completely normal. The sky would be bright and blue. You would still see the shadows. You might even comment on how lovely the day is. You could finish watering your plants completely unaware of the unbelievable disaster that has already happened. But then, as those precious seconds pass by, the old sunlight would finally reach us for the one last time. And then, the sky would change in a way that no human eye has ever witnessed. It would become completely black. Not the soft black of night, a deep, absolute blackness. Even if it was the middle of the afternoon, the moon, a gentle nightlight, it would disappear too, fading into the same blackness. The moon doesn't make its own light, it just reflects the sun. No sun, no reflection, no moon, just an empty black sky. The stars, those tiny pinpricks of light, far, far away, would still be there, but now they would seem much sharper, much colder, in an overwhelming dark. You might even see the faint, hazy glow of Milky Way galaxy stretching across the sky, something usually hidden by the sun's glare, now visible in the middle of what should have been a daytime. And in that moment, the confusion would turn into fear. Light flickers, panic rises. Even across all the cities and towns, every streetlight would snap on. Automatic sensors designed to turn on when it gets dark. They would be triggered by this unbelievable midday night, but their weak yellow glow would be tiny, a fragile defense against a darkness that felt immense. Imagine the sounds of the first hour. People would be shouting, their voices filled with confusion and terror. Car horns would blow endlessly as drivers blinded by the sudden blackness, and they would crash into each other. Elevators in tall buildings would grind to a halt, trapping people inside the sudden dark. Construction sites would become instantly dangerous, workers losing their footings in that unexpected blackness. Satellites, our vital links for communication and navigation, would begin to tumble and fail without the sun's energy. Phones would light up, with social media exploding with messages. What's happening? Why it is so dark? Is this the end? People would pour out of their homes and offices, a confused mass stumbling into the absolute black, desperate for answers, for light, for anything familiar. They would rush into stores, grabbing food, water, flashlight, batteries, anything that might offer a silver of hope. Supermarkets would become chaotic scenes of people pushing and shoving in the dark. And all the while, a new feeling would begin to creep in the cold air. The warmth we have always known, the gentle heat from sun, would start to drain away. The air would feel sharper, colder with every passing minute. Just 1 week without the sun, and the world would be almost unrecognizable. The ground would be frozen solid. The average temperature across the entire planet would plummet around freezing. Think of a warm summer day, suddenly feeling like the coldest winter night you've ever known. And then getting colder. Countries that were once hot and humid would feel like the coldest parts of Canada in the dead winter. And Canada, it would be rapidly turning into a frozen wasteland, much like Antarctica. In Yakutsk, Siberia, where winters already touch minus 50 degrees Celsius, life without the sun wouldn't be just cold, it would be unbelievable. Within days, the last traces of warmth would vanish. Temperatures would plunge towards minus 100 degrees Celsius. Homes would freeze. Power grids would fail. Fires wouldn't be enough. Even the cold-hardened locals would have nowhere to run. Yakutsk, the coldest city on earth, would become the first city to vanish into darkness and silence, a frozen relic of a dying planet. All the green life around us would begin to die. Plants, the very base of our food chain, need sunlight to live. No sun means no energy, no food for them. Within days, fields of crops would wither and turn useless. Trees would drop their leaves and their branches becoming brittle with frost. Animals would be in a distress. Birds would stop singing, huddling together for warmth. Insects would fall silent, their tiny bodies unable to cope with the sudden cold. The delicate balance of nature, the ecosystems that keep us alive, would start to collapse. And us? We would be huddled into our houses, wrapped into blankets, desperately trying to stay warm. We would turn up our heaters, burning through precious fuels, but the power grids already failing wouldn't last forever in this eternal night. Blackouts would spread like deadly disease, plunging more and more of the world into freezing darkness. After 1 month, the earth would be truly a frozen world. The average temperature would have been crashed to minus 30 degrees Celsius. Imagine the air itself feeling like it's burning your lungs with cold. Most of the rivers and lakes would be frozen solid, thick layers of ice covering water's surface. Even the vast oceans would begin to freeze. Starting at the poles, the ice slowly but surely spreading towards the equator, a white icy grip tightening around the planet. Billions of people would have already died, some from the brutal cold, others from starvation and lack of clean water. Only those who are incredibly wealthy or unbelievably lucky, those with deep underground shelters, maybe old military bunkers or research stations built to withstand extreme cold in places like the Arctic, might still be clinging to life. This would be the last tiny pockets of warmth and light on a world turning into a frozen tomb. There would be no more fresh foods growing anywhere on the surface. Grocery stores would have been looted and empty for weeks. Just bare shelves in the darkness. Solar panels, our hope for clean energy, would be useless in the endless night. Farms would be nothing but frozen fields, silent monuments to a lost way of life. 1 year without the sun, the average temperature on Earth would have been around minus 75 degrees Celsius. Think of a cold so extreme that the very air you breathe could freeze solid if it escaped your shelter. The planet would resemble Pluto, a distant frozen world, to the edge of our solar system. But deep down in the crushing darkness of the ocean floor, there would still be tiny glimmer of hope. The Earth's core still holds immense heat, underwater volcanoes would still erupt, and hydrothermal vents would still spew out hot mineral-rich water. And near these vents, in the total darkness, some strange ancient forms of life might still exist. Tiny creatures that don't need sunlight, bizarre worms, and other organisms thriving in the world utterly alien to us. Maybe in some unimaginable future, if the sun never returned, life could somehow start again in those deep dark places. But for the surface world, for the world we knew, it would be a frozen silent graveyard. 99.99% of all the life on the earth would be gone. The long, solid, silent end. Could any human survive in the long run without the sun? Perhaps a small isolated group living deep underground, powered by dwindling nuclear reactors, geothermal energy tapped from the Earth's core. They might try to cultivate strange pale mushrooms under artificial lights or grow lab-grown protein. But it would be a fragile existence, a shadow of the vibrant civilization we once had. The air in their underground homes would slowly become stale. Carbon dioxide, no longer absorbed by the plants, would build up. The frozen world above would continue its silent side, into the deeper and deeper cold, the oceans freezing solid all the way to the bottom. Eventually, even the most resilient shelters would fail. The cold would seep in, machines would break down, resources would run out, and the last echoes of humanity would fade. The earth would become just another rock, a frozen, silent sphere drifting through the vast emptiness of space. A forgotten planet orbiting a star that no longer shines. Our precious star. Our sun isn't just a light in the sky, it's everything. It's our warmth, our food, the air we breathe, the very rhythm of our lives. Without it, our beautiful, vibrant planet becomes nothing more than a cold, dead stone, a lonely memory lost in the darkness. And yet we wake up every day and take it for granted. We feel its warmth on our skin, see its bright light, without ever truly considering how vital it is. So the next time you step outside and feel the sunrise on your face, that life-giving warmth, the brilliant light, take a moment to really appreciate it. Remember that incredible, powerful star that makes everything we know possible. Let yourself feel the chilling thought of what it would be like if it suddenly wasn't there anymore.